welcome to the 20th BOH Cameronian Arts Awards on set. My name is Miriam, and joining us today are the nominees for Best Solo Performance in Vocals in the Music category. So on my right is Woon, representing Symphonic Rock, Mei Foong from Operasi Sì La Bohèmia, and Stefano Chen from Charm of Keroncong. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
I'd like to begin with a question on art fails. Let me explain this further. So every artist perhaps has an experience where it didn't go as planned. So what was a funny or entertaining experience for you, and what did you learn from it in terms of art fails?
I have one very funny one,
Okay.
but it's a bit, I don't want to say the name. Very sensitive. There was we were performing in a concert. I don't say which concert. And then during halfway in the concert, there's someone they had a diarrhea.
Oh no!
And then
wait, a performer or audience member?
A performer.
Oh,
So I remember it's a quite challenging work, and then we still continued the performance. Then halfway through, I started to smell somebody. I thought it's somebody farting, and I become a huge mess.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is but we it's a bit distracting. We just have to keep focused.
The show went on?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Only so at the beginning, it's a 30 minutes work. No, total it's a 1 hour work. So at the first 10 minutes, people around until the end. When everybody stand up, then we.
Wow.
So
This is the definition of the show must go on.
yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for sharing.
I pity this person.
Yeah, I know. Actually,
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So I would like to talk about my show, the Charm of Keroncong. Actually, it's a pop-up. Before that, actually last year, I just finished my Chinese folk song recital.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I finished my plan already actually for last year.
Yeah.
But after I think 2 or 3 months after my show, suddenly that's a fun came in.
Okay.
So he said, maybe I want to do something new,
Okay.
But the Keroncong thing, actually, I think in my mind about a few years already.
Yeah.
But I just know, I think 1 or 2 repertoire can present it.
Yeah.
Then suddenly, okay, just do it.
Yeah.
And I'll put it in November.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just call up my ensemble.
Yeah.
Then we just start our practice.
Yeah. And did everything go on plan?
Yeah, just go on.
Yeah, just went on.
But it's quite a good experience for me.
Yeah.
Because Keroncong, I think, is quite new, for the new generation.
Yes.
In Malaysia.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get back. We'll come dive deeper into that a little bit more.
Now we're in the arts failure. Okay, touch wood. Luckily, haven't happened to my voice failure yet.
Oh yes. Yeah.
But I experienced wardrobe failure.
Oh no!
Yes, I know. Then I have to. Okay, it's happening.
Oh no!
Okay, now luckily it's happened at my back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just walk sideways like that. Okay, so wardrobe. So that kind of reminded me that I have to have a lot of pins and also a second set of wardrobe ready at the back, backstage. So that's one thing, and it happens to me now more often. Probably not wardrobes. This is another failure. Legs cramp on the stage. I don't know. Maybe it's part of aging, but it happened to me several times as well. So I kind of nowadays wear shorter and shorter heels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have to do kind of physical warm-ups before?
Yes, we do, but sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
So you have to just
like a wellness thing is hurting.
You have to the high nose maybe. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So that falls into that arts failure.
Well, no, more like how, despite all these things, you're still able to portray your character. Yeah,
the music has to go on.
The music has to go on. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes mic failures, or audio, but that is out of our control, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to come back into and what do you practically do with leg cramps? But we'll come back to that off the screen. But yes, let's go slightly more into these characters that you have portrayed on stage. Now, Mei Foong, the character Mimì, it's this amazing, beautiful portrayal of vulnerability on stage. What was your approach to showing that, bringing that out, particularly in the Malayan context? What elements of that conventional portrayal did you have to balance out?
I think first of all, a lot of people when they hear of Mimì, so definitely immediately they will relate that to vulnerability, or weakness. But actually, in our interpretation of Mimì, we understand that she is actually also a strong woman. She has a strength, particularly in the first act before she grew ill. So she actually has a lot of strength in her. So the whole story portrays her from how she deals with very happy love, and then moves on to dealing with a betrayal, unexpected kind of miserables and all that towards the end, because she didn't have a good health, and that's why she died and all that. So it's a lot of emotions in her. But that emotions grew together in her in both the strength and vulnerability. It's a very long word. So how do we portray that? It's not that vulnerability, but it's all this thing in a Malayan context. So I think first of all, it's in the body language. So in the body language, when we walk, and there's a bit of the reservation. So instead of you just walk like a very outward Western type of body languages and all that. So it's a bit more like that, and a bit more reserved, a bit more like you want it, but then you are showing that in a different way. So it's actually very Asian, very Malayan and all that. So portraying that in a more Malayan context, I think it is also easier for the audiences to get what you mean actually through that body language. Because sometimes when we watch European performing arts and performance and all that, you kind of like, all right, so this is how she is when she's sick. She doesn't look sick, right?
It's too strong.
Things like that. So for me to portray Mimì in a Malayan context is somehow easier in a way, because we understand that Asian body language well.
Yes. I was just about to ask, how easy was it for you? And I know dancers, they feel things in particular parts of their body when they're embodying something created for Malaysian audience. Was that something for you as well?
It's very tiny. And when it sparks, it's just inside that language.
Okay. Right. Thank you. No, thank you. That's a perfect answer. Stefano, how was your process like for Charm of Keroncong? How did you get into that zone, that genre of music?
The first, I think the repertoire is the most important thing that I consider. So I have to pick up all the songs first. So actually I put it, I think about 10 songs in the repertoire, and then I try to figure out which song you have to how to develop it. All the colors, how to bring it out.
What was some of the challenges that you went through in the process?
The challenge is most of my musicians they don't know about Keroncong. That's the challenging part for me.
Okay. So how was
So I have to, I have to show that, this is a Keroncong thing. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a Keroncong rhythm.
Yeah.
This is a Keroncong nuance. Yeah. So how to get it? Listen to it. Yeah. And we don't have any scores. Normally, for a recital or for a concerts, they will invite someone, a composer, to rearrange all the songs, written, on the music sheets.
Yeah.
But my musician, they're all just play it.
Just playing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, actually, that's an experimental thing. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So I was just going to ask then, how did you facilitate that experimentation process? Because the musicians maybe didn't really know how to start with. So how did you get them to play along with
just try the element and let them. Actually, there's a lot of versions actually they made, and I choose and pick.
Okay.
Yeah, I choose and pick. That's very directly.
Yeah.
And I'll invite artistic friend. To give me some advice. For that. They really know the Keroncong thing.
The Keroncong thing.
For me, actually, I like the genre. But I can't say I really know it. But I quite love it for all the the genres, how they produce it. Especially during 60s.
Yes.
Or 50s or 60s in Malaysia or even in Indonesia.
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite popular.
Yeah.
So I think there's be something can add in.
Yeah.
Like all the the classic song from China or from Taiwan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we can put it in and blend it.
Yeah.
Become the new things. Entire new things to the generations.
The generation. Okay, thank you. I would like to. I definitely like to circle back to that question because, Keroncong is in some ways is very identifiable. I know my grandparents talk about the Keroncong a lot of times, and then we talked about. You mentioned earlier how we're sort of reintroducing it to this. New generation of contemporary Malaysians. But then when you bring in elements from Taiwan and China, how does that enhance the spirit of Keroncong or does it remove? So I'll come back to that question to you. But Woon, you're here today representing Raafik, I believe.
Raafik, yes.
So I think my question would be, how was it like to portray, do that solo performance in symphonic rock, balancing
the rock style.
And traditional and stuff like that.
Correct. Normally, this is very unique because normally Raafik would be singing in a band, normally five-piece band. So in this context, he's singing with a choir and then a 70-piece orchestra and a band.
Yes.
So he I think one of the most challenging, he has to change his color. I think one of the song somewhere we know that one is very tender and then the choir. So he has to lose the age that's in the rock and then after that when he does his thing in the high, then he have to do his his age when it's not with the choir and then and orchestra have a different tone. It's ultimately we are still classical trained orchestra musicians. So we want a quite refined tone. Then so I think the challenge would be like how he blend all this style together and also like normally this kind of song we perform in a nightclub or it's not like in a concert setting. So I think I saw him trying to connect to the audience. Whether do they dance or move or they just stay like how it should
because it's all seated as well.
So there's this
distance.
Pulling and which is quite interesting. I watched it. I find it quite dramatic.
Yeah, of course, because also with solo performances, right? It's you kind of push and pull and navigate the audience kind of thing, which is
I think the audience start to get more engaged like halfway through.
Halfway through.
They're coming to expecting to be like, this is a orchestra concert. I should be like, well behaved.
Exactly.
But everybody is moving and so it's different.
Oh, nice.
So let's go.
Yeah, it's always confusing, right? Setting and how that facilitates audience members and stuff like that. Well, Stefano, coming back to that earlier question of the spirit of Keroncong, did you find it challenging perhaps to incorporate musical elements from China, Taiwan, putting it into Keroncong? Did it remove from the spirit or enhance it?
Actually, we're doing the Keroncong show. It's not Keroncong.
Yes.
Yeah. At least what we feel from the Keroncong music, then we bring it back, the element, the spirit of it. Okay. That's what we're trying to do in this concert. Why we're using, erhu, pipa and guzheng, and then some percussion, to bring it out. This, I felt it when I started. Actually, that's a music. Actually, that's a pulse there. If you get the pulse, you get the spirit.
Oh, nice.
Even though you're using, tabla, to play some maybe classical music, actually it fits. If the pulse is right. This pulse is right.
There are a lot of that.
The two colors.
In the music itself, right? Which is quite different from the Sì La Bohèmia because the music remained almost the same. It's only two inserted short snippets that is added into the music, but in general, everything about the music is the same. It's just how it's presented. It's, theatrically.
In Bohème, you should, you must follow the conductor. Everything, the rhythm, everything is written. You have to follow it. You have to follow exactly the same thing. But for Keroncong, I have to, I can't follow the musician. That's actually the feel. I have to feel the freestyle, within the music. And I told my musician, don't follow my pulse, okay? Don't follow my rhythm. I have my rhythm. You just play and I follow.
Nice.
So that's impromptu.
Impromptu inside.
And spontaneous music making that just builds the whole thing.
If they follow my beat, the music ends.
No, that's true. That's the spirit.
Because the flow, everything is not right. At all.
Thank you so much.
So it's quite different from Bohème.
And that's quite interesting. Also bringing in different cultural, elements.
For me, it's actually challenging because I'm also learning opera, Western opera as well. Actually, everything is training based on my the foundation that I trained as a opera singer. But now I'm changing, to sing some folks thing. It's quite challenging for me as well.
I'm sure. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts earlier with this. We're just going to wrap up the session with one last question. In 100 years' time, how many years is that? 2125. Yes, in 2125. Ahead of this. If they're looking back at art today, what do you think will be considered the most timeless piece of art? Keeping in mind now that, you've all individually been involved in extending art, not just to one genre, but mixing it with cultures. What do you think people will look back and what will remain timeless?
I think a lot of masterpieces, they will still move on. And I think particularly this period of time, this frame of time in Malaysia particularly, I think we experienced, or we are doing a lot of experiments on stage on how do we try to mix elements into the creative outputs that we're going to do. Because I have also been working with artists outside Malaysia. In other countries, they have different ways of doing performing arts on stage. Some are, remain very conventional. So if it's Puccini, that's Puccini, and no one have mixed that local elements in this, and then they even changed the title of the opera. So, oh yes, so it's called La Bohèmia, it's called opera Sì La Bohèmia. So they even changed the title of the opera, which is very daringly, being creative. So the title already tells you that they want to be different, and they are trying on some experimental elements, which nowadays, if we can summarize or conclude from many productions, we are trying to add in the local elements into the productions that we're doing. So I think if after 100 years, when people look back, they probably kind of define us in this period of time where we are, experimenting and whether or not this work well. I think it is. Because it is also, from a bigger picture, it is also a way for us to find or to search for a national identity through arts. So that's very important. And how this, this identity or this kind of creative way of doing arts helps evolve from now on and to 100 or 200 years later. So that continuity, is very important. And of course, I think it will spark more outputs throughout the whole creative process in 100 and 200 years. And of course, we are now also dealing with AI. And how do we, carry forward? Humans' creativity is so important, and we have to evolve in that sense, and not to be...
I think it's only art form cannot be AI then.
Some part of it, yes. But how and how not to, and what elements are not able to. I think that's very important for us now to move on.
No, thank you. That's very beautifully put. A defining moment, I think. We're all in. Any final thoughts?
I think I agree with Mei Foong that we are very blessed that in Malaysia we are hybriding many things, whether it's Keroncong or Malayan La Bohème, and also Symphonic Rock. So it's a rojak, but then I think the music will survive. And then I think we might be borrowing this from somebody right now, but then I think hundreds of years later, this rojak will sort of becoming our identity. I think that's the same like La Bohème. La Bohème borrow from somebody as well. I'm sure before it become the La Bohème.
The La Bohème that we
So I think we are in this exciting pocket of time.
Put it in a different way, like Puccini using the butterfly. Modern Butterfly actually is based on Japan. But now it's a very famous Italian opera. Well, it's quite interesting.
I think because during Puccini's time, it is 100 years. Already, So we're looking back to that time. For them, they are experiencing internationalization. Because of the convenience of traveling and all that. So this exotic elements for them is the trend. But for us, the multicultural kind of touch and the urge of wanting to add in that into all kind of works, whether it is new works or whether it is a reproduction of an old and a masterpiece. This is what we are doing now. So I think 100 years after, when people look back, this is one of kind of a defining moment.
It's quite pivotal, isn't it?
People keep talking about creativity, experimental, everything, But I have to think about the art form. Where you stand. Where's your identity? You have to find it out. Where's your roots? Once you find it out, then once you try to feel it, I think the element, everything will be changed. So become your own identity. When you present it, I think it's not only nationally, internationally, but
Well, thank you so much. I think there's so many lessons that we can draw out of that, both from this being a defining pivotal era in arts in Malaysia, but also as to how you each embodied, and of course representing Raafik, how you each sort of embodied that character, that persona, taking up that space on stage to represent many different things at the same time. Perhaps more importantly, the Malaysian identity.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for all your work. Congratulations again on your nominations.
Thank
you for
you
joining
so much.
us.
Thank you.
And yes,
Congrats.
thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.